Put honesty in your faith life. You must remove all hypocrisy from your faith life, all hyperbole, all equivocation, all lack of complete and total honesty with yourself. Hyperbole is exaggeration, and exaggeration is lying. When using hyperbole in faith, you are lying and also becoming a hypocrite. Now, you can't be faithful and speak with hyperbole, for these are contradictory things. That hyperbole and hypocrisy have the same Latin root word should be a clue to you of their origins and meanings. You know when you are lying to yourself, for you do it all the time. Don't do it in the State House. Christmas was still a part of the various private governors' mansions, and the birth was told as it is in the Bible, without change, ever. The attempted self-deception that an agreement was made, they forced their way, then stopped the banners. Today Christ, tomorrow Christ, but no one else ever. And don't ever lie to the Christ. He knows what is written on your soul. If you lie or shade a getting involvement the truth to him, game eternally over. As the world enters the Jewish festivals of atonement and forgiveness in this fall, it is time that we each begin our own process of atonement and forgiveness with ourselves, with each other, and with our God. The first and most painful and difficult step is a full and complete survey of all we've harmed in the past year, accepting full personal responsibility for our actions, and begging publicly for forgiveness of that person. Atonement, as my rabbi and my priest would explain to you, is only given from and by God, and only if you've done the first steps honestly, openly, truthfully, and without reservations. So starting with yourselves, stop lying to yourself. You know exactly of what I speak, and you know exactly of whom I speak. After you have done the personal inventory, moral inventory, theological inventory, and daily inventory, so you can account for every day, so you can account for your actions with every person you have been with all year long. Forgive yourself for whatever you are forever and continually beating yourself up over, but only if you are being truthful with yourself. If you have not accepted full responsibility for your actions, you cannot say that you were duped into it when you drove for 6 hours to see them. See the problem with that one? Do not forgive yourself. To not forgive yourself is a sin. For you are forgiven by God. But if you are still holding the sin against yourself, and you are placing yourself above God by the continual self-flagellation and refusal of forgiveness. For those among you who are Catholic or Anglican, any action that broke a commandment is a requirement that you receive forgiveness from a priest, because these are mortal sins. These are sins that will prevent you from going to heaven. Stealing, adultery, killing, any of these, you must make a confession, and you must receive absolution. When you do that, and you make an act of contrition, saying, I will make every effort to avoid this sin again in the future, that means you never see that person again. Never, under any circumstance. That means if you are poor and you've stolen food, then you make every effort. When you get low and you need food, you go to the person to whom you've confessed and ask them for money for food, so that you don't have to steal again. These are reasons that for us Catholics and Anglicans, we have a slightly different process. The hardest part ever is speaking it aloud. That is why in 2016, I went to the Vatican to walk through that door of mercy, because I thought my sin was so big and so horrible. I did not know how my Lord could even stand to be in the room with me. I mean, he came to me and I could not look, for I knew that I would be struck down. So horrible a sinner I was. So when Spirit said, he makes no mistakes, oh, you mean he means to be here with me, a sinner? He knows what sins I have committed long ago in my past. He knows what I have done, and still He comes to me now, gives me this great, great gift, so far beyond my imaginings. He comes to me, telling me of his love for me. Oh. I was crying in joy then. And then I looked up and said, I am your obedient servant unto my death, Lord. When you ask it of me, I will do it. Or I will figure out a way to try to do it. Just ask me, Lord. I am a sinner. But I am your servant first. And so I used the last of every cent I had. I went to the Vatican and walked through the door of mercy into the Basilica of St. Peter. Now, to finish the part of mercy, I had to go to a mass. Well, I went to 19 of them where I traveled. And then I had to say confession. Well, I had many opportunities on that trip, but I decided I would do it back here in the United States. And I spoke it aloud to a priest. My act of contrition was to go through another door of mercy, because this church was the major church, the cathedral of that area. It had a door of mercy. The priest could see how wiped out I was from that trip and from coming to see him, and so gave me an especially simple act to finalize. But I was free. I was cleansed. I now knew what it felt like. Oh, my precious Lord, what a gift you have given me. I am your servant. Use me. Use me. Please, Lord. And that's when he started to teach me, so that I could do this for you. I pray every day that all of you can forgive yourselves. Forgive yourself and move forward in life, and join Christ in the green pastures of the new kingdom, where there is forgiveness for all through his loving sacrifice.